and in fact the USDJPY is a profitable trade for me so far this morning. I will be taking you through what my expectations are on the USDJPY and how I got to the point of where I'm in right now. So on the USDJPY, this is one trade we have been monitoring for some time now, and the first thing you would observe on the daily time frame is that price action has been bearish here in the last couple of years. In fact, we went to as far back as the month of September of the year 2020, as we saw there is a bullish range here as price action continued to find higher highs and higher lows in this regard. And so I was able to identify that bullish trend, but things did not get interesting until the month of April last year. So I would like to zoom into that structure so that we can see things clearly here. So in the month of April last year, we started seeing some market structure forming around the 131.00 level, which is the resistance point for that time, and the support level sitting around the 127.00 area. So in fact, we had a huge consolidation phase here, which lasted about a month or a month and a half thereabout before the breakout of that structure happened here in the month of June. And since the breakout of that level happened in the month of June here, as you can see, price has continued to trade above the 131.00 level to further emphasize the strength of the buyers above the 131.00 area. So price action climbed further to the upside here. In fact, it went to as far as the 152.00 level before we started seeing selling pressure in the month of October, bringing price crashing down into that zone where it was in the month of April/May of last year. And in fact, when price dropped below the 131.00 level, we saw the same consolidation phase between the 127.00 and the 131.00 area. And in fact, the consolidation phase here is a little bit different if you compare it with what we saw around this area. And how is it different here? If you look at the current structure here, at least since the second week of the month of January, we saw that price action had been finding higher lows. You can see this is the lowest point here, and then we have a higher low here. And this makes me conclude that we might be having a reversal pattern at that point. And if we take into consideration the previous impulse leg here, moving price into the 127.00 level, that was the first touch. Price action came into the 131.00 level. We saw the second touch as price was unable to break the previous structure, hereby giving us a higher low in this regard. And this is a beautiful sign that buyers are gradually coming in this market. And if you look at the structure here, we have something like a reversal pattern in the form of a double bottom structure. And whenever we have a reversal pattern like this, the next thing we want to be doing is to identify a neckline for that reversal pattern, which we shall be using to guide trading activity. And we so luckily have the 131.00 level, a very important key level in the last 10 months now, which has been a major determinant of price action, serving as a neckline of that reversal pattern. And one thing that will make this reversal pattern mature is to see a breakout retest of that 131.00 level to give us an opportunity to trade. And what we have seen here in the last 1 week is quite interesting, as we have seen price action break out of the neckline area at the 131.00 level. And you can see how we have been witnessing buy pressure around the 131.00 level throughout the course of last week's trading session. So for me at this point, it's a very beautiful sign that there are a level of buying pressure, buying strength around the 131.00 area. And if we compare the structure of this level with what has been happening in the past, you can see that we have a very strong demand zone around this area. And coupled with the multiple rejection of the 131.00 level during the course of last week's trading session, I was of the opinion that we will definitely be having a bullish momentum from this area. And if we scale down to a much lower time frame to see how price action has been reacting to the structure, and in fact during the course of last week's trading session, I told you we are going to be buying. I have a buy position triggered here which I held over the weekend, and I hope you did as well. If you did, you will definitely be running with more profit at this point, but if you didn't, then we shall be looking out for ways to join this bullish momentum at this point. So in that regard, we shall be scaling down to the 1 hour time frame to see things more clearly and see how price action has been reacting to that structure since the beginning of this week. Now remember, during the course of last week's trading session, we had this channel here between the 131.650 level and the 130.500 area to emphasize the choppy situation we had during the course of last week's trading session. And prior to the CP high on Friday, we had a situation where we were looking forward to buying above the 131.00 level, considering how the 130.500 level has been a strong buying niche in this market. So we have been in the bullish momentum on the USDJPY from this level since last week Friday, and at the beginning of the week, this is what we saw here as price action had started on a bullish note, beginning at the 131.400 level here, respecting that bullish trend line one more time, leading to a situation where price action broke out of the resistance point for last week's trading session at the 131.650 level, and price action has since then continued to find higher highs. So at this point in time, for those who had missed out on both of this opportunity, I mean the one here and the one around this area, well, at this point I would advise us to remain very patient here to wait and see how price action will be reacting to the 132.900 level to decide what our next line of action will be. So as we head into the New York session today, we have a couple of structures we shall be using to guide trading activity. And one of the structure is this bullish trend line here, which has been guiding bullish momentum since on Friday of last week's trading session. As you can see, the pivot lows here. We shall be using the bullish trend line here, and at the same time we shall be using the 132.900 level to guide trading opportunities. So how do we intend to use these structures? Well, the first thing I would like us to do here, especially for those who had missed out on this opportunity, is to remain patient here. And hold on a second, please. I'm trying to, okay, so should I give it a darker color here? So let's give it a dark color, okay, and then we label it 132.250 level. Okay, so we have something like this to play around with if price action ever drops down into that structure. So if it so happens that price action drops into the trend line here, we shall be using the structure here as a platform for bullish momentum to the upside. However, if price action breaks down the structure, that is, breaks down the 132.250 level, which also shares a confluence with that bullish trend line, then that could be a signal that bearish momentum is likely going to be coming in. And if that happens, we want to be patient enough to wait for a retest of structure to happen, scale down to your lower time frame, look out for selling pressure below these levels, then we want to be joining that decline to the downside. So these are one of the things we are going to be looking forward to, just in case price action breaks down that trend line and the 132.250 level. Now, if price action continues to the upside, that is, if it does not drop to the downside at all and continues to the upside, then we shall be looking out for opportunities to add more position at the breakouts of the 132.900 level. So these are my views here on the USDJPY for this week. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop your inquiries in the comment section. And for those who are already in this trade that we have here, I will be advising you to move your stop loss accordingly to lock in some profit, and the most appropriate place to lock in some profit here is somewhere right below the 132.00 level here, so that we can give room for price action to breed. So let's see what happens afterwards. We shall be monitoring this, and by tomorrow we shall be coming back here to review how well this pair has been doing. So if you have questions, feel free to drop your inquiries in the comment section. Let's see if there are any questions before I move on to the next pair.